I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false.
When we think of American presidents, we often imagine leadership, power, and the weight of history resting on their shoulders. But behind the stately portraits and carefully crafted public images, many presidents have led private lives that were far more complicated than the stories etched into textbooks. Scandals and affairs have haunted the White House across centuries. Today, we're taking a look at the presidents who got caught cheating on their wives. Thomas Jefferson.
I'm Thomas Jefferson, the owner of this house.
I know who you are.
I just wanted to welcome you to Monticello. I hope you'll be very happy here with us.
Well, I'm just happy to be indoors, thank you.
That's charming.
Oh, brother, here he goes.
Like a bee to a blossom.
What are you talking about?
Don't you read the papers? Everybody knows it. Thomas Jefferson only dates black chicks.
Long before the modern age of media scrutiny, Thomas Jefferson's private life was under question. He's believed to have begun a sexual relationship with Sally Hemings, an enslaved woman, at Monticello when she was just 14. While Jefferson never publicly acknowledged the affair, DNA evidence in the late 1990s strongly linked him to Hemings' descendants, confirming suspicions that had existed for generations. Hemings bore at least 6 of Jefferson's children, and records indicate she bargained for their freedom before agreeing to remain with him. The relationship remains one of the most controversial aspects of Jefferson's legacy. John F. Kennedy.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
Few presidents are more associated with infidelity than John F. Kennedy. His marriage to Jacqueline Kennedy was overshadowed by a string of affairs, many of which became public years after his death. His most famous involved Marilyn Monroe, though his relationships extended far beyond Hollywood icons. Intern Mimi Alford described an 18-month affair with Kennedy that began inside the White House itself. Other alleged mistresses included socialite Mary Pinchot Meyer, Secretary Judith Exner, and even actress Jean Tierney. Kennedy's reputation as a charismatic leader was rivaled only by his reputation as a womanizer. Bill Clinton.
Indeed, I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong. It constituted a critical lapse in judgment and a personal failure on my part, for which I am solely and completely responsible.
In the 1990s, Bill Clinton's presidency was nearly derailed by his affair with White House intern Monica Lewinsky. Their relationship, which included multiple sexual encounters between 1995 and 97, became the focal point of a scandal that resulted in Clinton's impeachment by the House of Representatives. Clinton also faced long-standing allegations of affairs with women such as Jennifer Flowers, who claimed a decade-long involvement. While Clinton downplayed or denied many accusations, his relationship with Lewinsky was undeniable, leaving an enduring stain on his presidency. Donald Trump.
People think and talk about me like, oh, Melania, oh, poor Melania. Don't feel sorry for me. Don't feel sorry for me. I can handle everything.
Donald Trump's name has long been linked with controversy, and infidelity was no exception. In 2016, just as his presidential campaign was heating up, reports surfaced that he had paid adult film actress Stormy Daniels to stay silent about a 2006 sexual encounter. Trump denied the affair but admitted to reimbursing his lawyer for the hush money. Daniels' claims, later detailed in interviews and legal documents, suggested their involvement came just a year after he married Melania Trump. In 2024, Trump was convicted on multiple counts tied to this hush money scheme, bringing his private scandals directly into the courtroom and political headlines alike. Franklin Roosevelt. Franklin D. Roosevelt's marriage to Eleanor Roosevelt was complicated, in part because of his affair with Lucy Mercer, Eleanor's secretary. Eleanor discovered the relationship in 1918 and threatened to divorce him. To avoid political ruin, the couple struck a compromise that allowed Roosevelt to continue his career while maintaining their marriage. Lucy Mercer remained in Roosevelt's life until his death, with reports confirming she was with him when he passed away in 1945. Historians also speculate about his relationship with longtime Secretary Marguerite Missy LeHand, though whether it was consummated remains debated. Lyndon B. Johnson.
He grabbed me by the arm and he had this deep voice, and he said, "After tomorrow, those SOBs will never embarrass me again. That's no threat. That's a promise." And it startled me, really, because he was so ruddy-faced. I thought, oh, well, he really, something went on that shouldn't have gone on,
Known for his brash personality and towering presence, Lyndon Johnson was equally bold in his personal life. Johnson reportedly carried on several extramarital affairs, including a long relationship with socialite Alice Glass. Later, he was linked to Congresswoman Helen Gagan Douglas and to Madeline Duncan Brown, who claimed Johnson fathered her child. Accounts describe Johnson openly boasting about his affairs to close aides, demonstrating little fear of public exposure. Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland's story is among the darker scandals in presidential history. In 1873, he met Maria Halpin, a widow with whom he began a relationship. Halpin later accused Cleveland of rape, alleging he forced himself upon her and threatened her afterward. She gave birth to a child believed to be Cleveland's, but the child was placed for adoption, and Halpin was institutionalized under questionable circumstances. Though Cleveland admitted to knowing Halpin, he denied wrongdoing. The scandal resurfaced during his presidential campaign, but he managed to weather it, becoming the first president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. Warren G. Harding. Warren G. Harding was notorious for his extramarital affairs, some of which came to light only after his death. Nan Britton, one of his lovers, published a memoir claiming she bore his child and detailing encounters in the White House, including trysts in a closet near the Oval Office. Harding was also involved with Carrie Fulton Phillips, who blackmailed him for financial support and vacations. The Harding presidency, already marred by corruption scandals, gained an additional layer of notoriety thanks to his unchecked personal life. Dwight Eisenhower. During World War II, Dwight Eisenhower developed a close relationship with his driver and aide, Kay Summersby. Their affair, while long rumored, was confirmed by Summersby in her memoir, Past Forgetting, where she described their deep emotional bond and suggested a physical relationship. While Eisenhower returned to his wife Mamie after the war, the relationship highlighted how even a disciplined military leader could find himself caught in the vulnerabilities of wartime romance. Ronald Reagan.
There are people who told me that it gets much easier. Well, maybe for them, but not for me.
Before he became president, Ronald Reagan's reputation was clouded by allegations of misconduct. Actress Celine Walters accused him of sexually assaulting her in the early 1950s after he arrived at her home uninvited. Walters claimed Reagan forced himself on her despite her resistance. While Reagan denied the allegations, the story resurfaced in later years as discussions of presidential misconduct gained traction. Reagan's marriage to Nancy Davis remained intact throughout his political rise, but the shadow of Walters' accusation remains part of his complicated legacy. George H.W. Bush. George H.W. Bush's long marriage to Barbara Bush was rumored to have been shaken by his close relationship with aide Jennifer Fitzgerald. Reports suggested the two shared a romantic connection spanning over a decade. Although Fitzgerald denied the claims, multiple insiders described her as unusually protective and influential in Bush's life. Allegations of prostitution scandals within the White House during his administration also circulated, though none were definitively tied to him. The Fitzgerald rumors, however, were widely believed by many in Washington's inner circles. George W. Bush.
In international news, United States President George W. Bush is in the hot seat again, this time for a possible romantic affair with someone other than his wife.
In 2002, George W. Bush was accused by a woman named Margie Schrodinger of rape, kidnapping, and harassment. She filed a $50 million lawsuit, but tragically died by suicide in 2003 before the case could progress. While the allegations remain unproven and largely dismissed by officials, the lawsuit stirred speculation about Bush's private conduct. Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson, often remembered as an academic and reformer, carried on a long correspondence and affair with Mary Peck. Meeting in Bermuda in 1907, Wilson wrote her over 200 letters filled with intimacy and affection. He sent her gifts and even money, creating a paper trail that could have jeopardized his political career. When his first wife died, Wilson courted another woman instead of Peck, ending their relationship. Peck later sold their letters and wrote her autobiography, giving the public an inside look at her connection with the president. Gerald Ford. Though often perceived as a wholesome and steady leader, Gerald Ford was linked with Ellen Romech, a suspected German spy. Reports claim Ford had an affair with Romech and that J. Edgar Hoover used knowledge of the relationship as leverage. Ford himself denied the accusations, and the details remain murky. But whispers of the affair never fully disappeared. For a man remembered as a stabilizer after Watergate, even unverified rumors of infidelity added complexity to his presidential image. Now it's time to hear from you. Which one of these was the most surprising to hear about? Let us know in the comments section below.